Hey, cabin lovers, welcome back to another episode of the My Dream Log Cabin podcast. I'm so excited to have you here with me. I'm your host, Lindsay Sutherland, and this podcast is brought to you by Caribou Creek Handcrafted Log Homes. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of My Dream Log Cabin podcast. My name is Lindsay Sutherland. I'm your host, and I'm excited for today's episode. Listen, this is meant to be a fun and just kind of like get your creativity flowing as you are dreaming about your log cabin. I remember back when I was in the dreaming phase and I would spend hours picturing like how I would decorate the interior of my home. Now, back when I moved, it was around 2018, and that farmhouse style was really popular. And for the life of me, when we finally ended up moving into our cabin, I just couldn't think of ways to incorporate the farmhouse style. So I ended up just kind of keeping an eclectic. Honestly, to be really transparent, I still have an eclectic look, mainly because it's like I just haven't found the style. So the other day I was Googling like what is 2024 interior design trends. And I started thinking like, how could this incorporate into my cabin? And guys, let me tell you, it's so exciting because so many of these trends fit so beautifully with a log home. And I could just see it so clearly. So, what I want to do is I'm going to be sharing my screen. So, those of you listening on the audio version, if you can, click the link in the description and go follow me on YouTube because I so would love to engage with you and have a conversation about your dream cabin and what styles that are popular in 2024 that you would choose for your cabin. Or maybe there's a style that you're like, oh, heck no. Share that too. This is, like I said, this is meant to be a fun episode to just get your creativity flowing and let's connect. Connect with me on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and we're going to dive in, and I will definitely do my best for those of you listening to the audio version to be able to just talk through what I'm seeing so that hopefully it's a fulfilling experience for you as well. Okay. So as I was Googling this website, it's called housebeautiful.com, showed up first. And I ended up clicking on a few other ones, but I kept coming back to this article because they have the best pictures. I thought they were very, very good with images. Also, I ended up finding a lot of these companies saying the same thing. I mean, we're talking like Vogue, um, Good Housekeeping. All of them said a lot of the same stuff that this website said. So that's why I'm going off of this. And it's housebeautiful.com. And again, I'll link it because it's got a really long URL and I don't feel like saying it all here. So it'll be in the description if you want to go check it out. Okay. 12 interior design trends that you'll see everywhere in 2024, according to experts. All right. So the first one that they're talking about is a brown renaissance. Like I remember when I was looking at interior home design trends and gray was like the thing. Now, I will say this. When you have a log home, and I hear this from a lot of other log home livers, people living in their log home. So funny saying it. They also comment about the significance of brown, like because the logs are brown, tend to be all of the accents and the cupboards are brown and so on and so on. I will say having some gray or black is really striking. We did an episode with Lynn Fleming about interior design for log homes. She really talked about black trends, black being a good contrast. I totally could second that. However, with this movement of brown, how fitting is it to have brown walls like you can see behind me with my log home? So in this case, they're really talking about the art and the feeling of this Renaissance trend, which I see if that is an art style that you adore and that you really resonate with, I could absolutely see it going into a log home. One of the other websites that I read and another trend that kind of ties into art in general is that more and more people are going for an eclectic look. In other words, they are more interested, not so much in having that Pinterest worthy home where it's so stylish and perfect based on trends. It's more like they want to showcase their family heirlooms that have been passed down. So that could be that quirky lamp Grandma Martha had, or the really odd wall hanging sculpture that Uncle Jerry had, whatever. The point is that these eclectic styles and really making your home unique is actually much more popular right now than with the farmhouse style. It was like buying all these new modern looking things that all were going for that farmhouse style. So it's not necessarily going that direction where they're producing new interior decorating things specifically for a trend. It's more like, let's go find some antique or vintage pieces that can really make it stand out. So that's what I'm trying to get at here. And I think with a cabinet, it can be done extremely well. Same here with the sculptural art. A lot of times you see sculptural art in a log home with antlers or with, hunted animals, I guess. That's very popular, but I don't see any reason why you couldn't go with something more modern, especially if it had the hues and the tones that you were wanting to go. It would look really cool on an accent wall. Even this interesting piece here with the black and white would look really, really good. So, a lot of options there with adding art. That's kind of something I'm seeing a lot: unique, creative, and earthy tones. Okay, here it's talking about dynamic range hoods. So we're talking about the kitchen. In this picture, they have, it looks like an arc over the range oven, the stove. The cool thing is with the log home, you can really deck out the interior however you want. And there's no reason why you couldn't do something artistic like this in your kitchen if that strikes your fancy. So, if you're following me right now on YouTube, I'd love for you to put in the comments if this is something that strikes your fancy. Is this something you would like to do in your log home? And I will tell you, we offer a non-settling design where we guarantee your logs will not settle, and that allows for a lot more creativity like this in the interior walls. So it's definitely something to think about if this is up your alley, so to speak. Okay, so this I thought was so awesome. A pause from technology. Says here what I think will be a big turnaround or turnabout in design for 2024 is that more and more of my clients are actually wanting to return to dumb homes. At least that's what I'm calling the opposite of a smart home. Harsh blue lights and bright touch screens that illuminate when you walk by at night are starting to give way to a love of mechanical controls, old school buttons, switches that toggle up and down, and simpler toilet washlets. Okay. So, in other words, rather than the high tech, like modern lighting where you walk in and the room just lights up, or smart homes where you say, Alexa, turn the lights off, it's looking like people want to go back to having to flip a switch to turn the lights on. But I thought in general that the pause from technology just speaks to the heart of what most log home lovers are really about anyway. And that's getting back to that rustic way of life. It just pairs so well with a log home. Not to say that technology isn't important and that lighting isn't important, because it absolutely is, which we've done lots of episodes about that. But I do think it's really cool that as we move into this 2024 modern era, how so much of design and styles are going backwards in time because, that is dear to my heart. That's what I love about living in a log home. Bold colors. This one's really interesting. Now, this website itself doesn't say chartreuse, but you can see here they're demoing a kitchen with open shelving and this chartreuse color, bright, like some might refer to it as puke green backsplash. On another website, I think it was Vogue, they had a chartreuse headboard and they were talking about chartreuse coming in as the color for 2024. This website just simply says bold colors. I got to know, what do you think about this? Would you choose chartreuse? Would you choose chartreuse? That rhymes. To go in your log home. Personally, I'm out. I don't love this color. I've never loved it. Fun fact, my birthday's in August, so the peridot is my birthstone, and I don't like it. I've never liked it. I have some jewelry with it, but I rarely wear it. It's just not my favorite color. So I know for me, I would never put it in a log home, but that's not to say that you wouldn't love it. I'd love to hear what you say. Oh, and I also saw something about yellow. So it's like this 1970s colors, like the mustard yellow, the chartreuse green becoming more popular. Just curious what your thoughts are on that. Okay, here it's again talking about art. In this case, surprising murals and really changing the texture and the tones of the home. Now, maybe you do a mural, maybe you don't. But I will say this image that they're depicting here is showing the staircase. And specifically in the comments are talking about decorating the stairwell area with a mural because it's this nook. It's like a space that isn't easily, it's not really a usable space. So it's more of a just a decorative space in this particular case. But my friends, listen, you get yourself a Caribou Creek staircase and you don't need a mural. It is a work of art in and of itself, and it will become the centerpiece and the focus of your home. People will walk in and just be like, whoa, the staircase. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, they are amazing. So that will trump this mural any day of the week. Okay, now we're talking about innovative materials. I wasn't really sure if they're talking about innovative materials from the like green movement focus or if it was just about different materials. In this case, we're talking about Japanese plaster made out of seaweed fibers and seaweed lamps. So, this seaweed thing I'm thinking is kind of a green thing. However, I mean, seaweed is probably a renewable resource. If it's picked, it grows back. Hopefully, it's picked sustainably. I could tell you this logs are sustainable and are carefully curated so that we're not deforesting. We're using, and I know we've got into this. This is, I'm not trying to go on a platform here about that, but I will say, like, logs in and of themselves are a very innovative natural product. And they also are very hypoallergenic. So, definitely something to think about. It fits again right into the 2024 interior design hits of the year. So, yay. All right. And then we have customized secondary spaces. Now, literally, I just did an episode called Turning Your Floor Plan from Drab to Fab. And one of the key things I talked about was unique, innovative room spaces and making it custom. So feel free to go listen to that episode. But here it's talking about, and this gives you some really good ideas. So if you're like, what kind of innovative room would I do? This is a really good thought starter. So here it says from back kitchens, additional wet bars to butler's pantries, I expect more and more homeowners to create extensions of their kitchens with secondary spaces, says Matt. With the option of being transitional or closed off behind doors, these secondary spaces can house everything from additional refrigeration, warming drawers, to built in coffee systems, wine storage, dishwashers, and more. So there you have it. Those are some really good bonus rooms. And I personally love this cabinetry. They've got their wine refrigerator here, but I also love the extra storage and the unique ladder to store those things like, your mother's china that you've held on to that you pull out once a year. Okay, I'm talking about myself. But that would be the perfect place to keep it because it's really a nice little nook up there. I really like the way that looks. I would definitely consider adding that to my log home. All right, inviting living rooms. Hello, you cannot get more inviting than a cozy log cabin living room with a roaring fireplace and the glow of the lights and the warmth of the logs. And oh my gosh, I could go on. You just add in a nice cushy throw like a blanket with some fur, and voila, you have the most inviting living room in, I would say, the block, but usually when you live in a log home, your neighbors are acres away. So we'll say in the county. How about that? So, yes, absolutely. A log home has an inviting living room. Oh, wait, here it is. Remember how I was talking about chartreuse? I thought it was on Vogue, but it's this one. I did a lot of research. So you could see like the websites are blurring together in my mind. This is the picture I was telling you about with the chartreuse headboard. I honestly like it doesn't look bad in this instance. Would I do it? No, but I think it could be done. Could be done. Okay. Personalized eclecticism. This is talking more about in innovative the interiors with eclectic pieces, the antiques that have been passed down, those family heirlooms. However, they have a picture of a bathroom with this, I don't know, pattern. I don't know if that's painted pattern or if it's wallpaper, but it matches the curtains, the drapes, and the shower curtain. It's too busy for my tastes. What do you think? Because I'll tell you this, I don't love a lot of busyness in general. Like what I like about the logs is it adds texture and lines without being overwhelming because it's subtle and it's all the same color for the most part. I probably would not do something like this in the bathroom. But that's not to say that I wouldn't do something unique or bespoke that was passed down. Actually, I do have stuff like that. My hutch was my grandmother's and I repainted it and made it all like custom. So that is totally something I would do. I just wouldn't do it busy like this. Like my hutch is two colors, white and turquoise, my two favorite colors. And that's my style. I like clean, plain colors, but I like to layer with texture. What do you do? I'm just curious. Would you pick patterns? Last but not least, cozy, quiet luxury. Oh my gosh. Once again, log home living is the place to get cozy, quiet luxury. Log homes, especially a Caribou Creek log home, is so quiet. Now, listen, guys, I have kids and I live in a log home. It's not a Caribou Creek log home, unfortunately. And it is so echoey. When we first walked through the house, it was really echoey. And I mentioned that to my husband, and he said, well, once we get furniture, it'll be fine. No, it's not fine. I'm telling you, my house, I can hear everything, which is good because I have kids. I should hear a lot. But there just comes some times where I want to go somewhere and have peace and quiet, and it is hard to get in my home. That would never be the case with a Caribou Creek log home. When you have 12-inch logs or larger, those act as a sound barrier and they are so solid and it's just such a great sound absorber. You will have no problem having a cozy, quiet, luxurious home with a Caribou Creek handcrafted log home, my friends. Let me tell you. All right. Now, if you're still with me, I want you to know that you can head over to cariboucreek.com and scope out. We have a ton of resources. So, for one, if you're planning and you're in the planning phases, you should get the Ultimate Log Home Planning Guide. I will link that below because that will help you really put all your thoughts and ideas in one place. So you will want to be sure to check that out. Meanwhile, we also have uh, access to floor plans. If you want to look at some floor plan options and you want to start playing with some ideas, be sure to head over to cariboucreek.com and find all the goodies. All right, my friends, thanks for tuning in. And for as always, be sure to subscribe and leave us a review. If you are enjoying this content, we'd love to hear from you. Bye for now.